in the low light of forgotten places, abandoned laboratories, mineral caverns beneath temperate plains, and wetlands choked with chemical runoff, life begins without ceremony. Here, in environments too unstable for most organisms, Ditto is born. At its earliest stage, it is not yet a creature with a fixed form, but a living mass of adaptive protoplasm, vulnerable and incomplete. Survival here is not about speed or strength, but about learning when to exist and when to disappear. Juvenile Ditto drift through their environment almost unnoticed, clinging to stone surfaces or submerging themselves in mud and shadow. Their bodies lack a defined skeleton, instead composed of a semi-viscous cellular lattice capable of rapid reorganization. This fluid anatomy is not a weakness. It is an answer to relentless pressure. Predators that hunt by sight overlook them. Changes in temperature, pressure, or chemical exposure are absorbed and redistributed through their bodies rather than resisted. From the beginning, Ditto does not fight the world. It yields, and in yielding, survives. As Ditto matures, its true evolutionary advantage emerges. Neural clusters develop throughout its body rather than in a centralized brain, allowing sensory input to be processed instantly at the point of contact. When Ditto observes another organism, its cells begin recording data: muscle tension, skeletal proportions, surface texture, even subtle postural habits. This is not mimicry in the superficial sense. It is biological analysis in real time. Transformation is costly. The act of reshaping requires immense metabolic energy and precise coordination. Early attempts are imperfect, misaligned limbs, slack posture, asymmetrical features. Many juveniles fail here, exposed by these errors and eliminated by predators. Only those that refine their internal memory and control survive. Evolution does not reward imagination, it rewards accuracy. In adulthood, Ditto becomes something far more dangerous than a shapeshifter. It becomes an infiltrator. Rather than dominating through force, Ditto integrates itself into existing hierarchies. It adopts the form of herd animals to move unseen. It mimics apex predators to deter threats without confrontation. Within complex ecosystems, Ditto functions as a regulator, an organism that prevents imbalance by exploiting predictability. Sound carries differently around a Ditto. There is often no footfall, no displaced foliage, no warning. Its movement is deliberate, economical, shaped by observation rather than instinctive aggression. When threatened, Ditto does not react emotionally. Its body tightens, structure stabilizing, mass redistributing for density and resilience. What appears soft becomes unyielding. What appears passive becomes calculating. A confrontation unfolds in the deep forest at dusk. A territorial predator, larger, faster, biologically optimized for killing, detects movement. The air tightens with tension. Ditto does not flee, it transforms. Musculature thickens, posture rises, eyes align to match the predator's own species. The challenger hesitates. Dominance in the wild is as much about certainty as strength. In that moment of hesitation, Ditto advances not with reckless violence, but with precision. The encounter ends without prolonged struggle. Survival is achieved not by overpowering the enemy, but by erasing the need for conflict altogether. Ditto's intelligence is not emotional, but strategic. It does not form bonds easily, yet when it integrates into a group, it exhibits loyalty rooted in mutual survival. It mirrors behaviors to reinforce trust, adopting social cues to remain accepted. Aggression is used sparingly, only when exposure threatens existence. Every action serves continuity. Rarely, a genetic anomaly appears among Ditto populations. Known as the shiny variant, this individual bears a pale blue coloration, its cells reflecting light differently due to altered protein structures. In the wild, This coloration offers no camouflage advantage, and yet these individuals persist. They are often solitary, their presence almost ceremonial. Other organisms react with caution, as if sensing something unfamiliar but ancient. In the damp underworld of ancient forests, where sunlight fractures into thin green blades and the air hangs heavy with decay, life does not roar, it creeps. Here, beneath rotting logs and fungal cathedrals, a small arthropod is born into silence. This is Parastia, the juvenile stage of a far darker story. Its body is light, its shell thin, its instincts simple. The fungus takes root slowly, threading microscopic filaments through the insect's outer shell, tapping into its fluids, learning its rhythms. At first, the host resists. Paras remains agile, alert to vibration, sensitive to pressure changes in the soil. But survival in this world demands compromise. The forest floor is cold, damp, and unforgiving, and the fungus offers something in return: protection from predators, chemical deterrence, endurance in darkness. What begins as infection becomes dependence. As seasons pass, the transformation accelerates. Muscle fibers thicken to bear additional weight. The thoracic frame widens, joints locking into a lower, more stable posture. Neural pathways once dedicated to curiosity and evasion begin to dull, overridden by signals not entirely its own. The fungus grows outward now, forming a dense armored cap across the host's back. This is no ornament. It is a living control center, sensitive to humidity, temperature, and threat. Paras is no longer an individual organism. It becomes parasect. The evolved form moves with a deliberate, unsettling precision. Each step is heavier, more grounded. The body has been reshaped into a mobile platform, optimized not for speed, but for persistence. The original insect brain still fires, but it no longer leads. The fungus has infiltrated the nervous system, releasing compounds that suppress independent thought. What remains is instinct, filtered, directed, repurposed. Parasect does not hunt in the traditional sense. It patrols. Infected forests bear its signature. Trees drained from the roots upward, bark mottled with fungal bloom, the air faintly bitter with spores. When threatened, Parasect does not charge. It halts, lowers its body, and releases. The spores are silent killers, microscopic clouds that cling to fur, feathers, lungs. They disorient, weaken, and mark intruders. Many predators retreat before contact is even made, guided by ancestral memory rather than experience. Those that don't soon learn. Paralysis follows, then stillness. Within its ecosystem, Parasect is not apex by strength, but by control. It understands territory through vibration, through shifts in moisture, through the subtle chemistry of decay. Multiple Parasect often move within the same forest, but they do not compete. Their hierarchy is chemical, not physical. Older fungal colonies dominate through denser spore output, forcing younger hosts to migrate outward. The forest becomes a living network, ruled not by claws or fangs, but by mycelium. When confrontation is unavoidable, when a larger predator pushes too far, or when fire or flood disrupts the balance, Parasect reveals its final adaptation. It stands its ground. The posture stiffens. The fungal cap flexes, releasing a concentrated burst of spores while the host body absorbs impact with reinforced plating and compressed musculature. It does not strike wildly. Every movement is economical, driven by survival efficiency rather than aggression. The enemy weakens before the battle truly begins. Victory is not loud. It is inevitable. Yet even among these living vessels of fungal dominance, rarity exists. On the deepest forest floors, far from surface interference, a genetic anomaly occasionally emerges, the shiny parasect. Its coloration is altered, paler, almost ghost-like, the mushroom tinged with sickly gold or muted amber. The spores it releases are fewer but more potent, their presence felt more than seen. In local ecosystems, these individuals are avoided entirely. Even other parasect yield territory without resistance. To some, these rare forms are omens, symbols of imbalance, or guardians of places too old to be disturbed. As centuries pass, stories spread among researchers and rangers, of forests where no birds sing, of paths reclaimed overnight, of shapes that move only when watched indirectly. Parasect becomes less an organism, more a boundary, between life and decay, control and surrender. It is not evil. It is not cruel. It is nature's reminder that survival does not always belong to the strongest mind, but to the most adaptable system. In the shadow depths where fungus outlives empires and silence feeds on breath, parasect endures, a living relic of biological conquest. A body claimed, repurposed, perfected, and in the forest's eternal stillness, it waits. Guardian, parasite, legend.